Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 5 of the oNiD European GT3 Championship. My name is Cammy Sturch, and in the commentary booth this evening is Alex Parkin.
Good evening, Cammy.
And on the camera's highlights and replays is Dan Connolly.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening to you both. So, round 5, the Hungaroring, not everybody's favourite, not everybody's cup of tea. Probably a circuit that's going to suit the Porsches, as it's a bit of a twisty one. What are you two's thoughts on the Hungaroring as a circuit?
I kind of like it. I'm kind of on the side of enjoying it. It's a tricky track, but I enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm the same, Dan. When I raced F1 games a few years ago, I really didn't enjoy it, but now I've moved over to ACC. I appreciate a lot more now on this game.
I think it's a very technical circuit, but if you get it right, it's very rewarding. Especially corner coming up for Javier Marquez here. As he comes over the peak of the hill, you get this blind left-hander, and that is very rewarding to get right.
Difficult to get right, but yeah, if you get it right, there's a lot of time to be gained there.
So after 4 rounds of the oNiD European GT3 Championship, it is Jordan Watson leading the way with 1 win and 91 points to his name. Second is Alex Shahabi, 1 win to his name and 83 points. And third is Daniel Hearn, no wins to his credit, but is sitting on 75 points. Jonathan Seville, 2-time race winner, only in 4th on 70 points, with Brendan Rooney in 5th place with 60 points. And 6th place is Javier Marquez in the Pulse Sim Racing Mercedes on 58 points. So it's still quite close up there at the top of the leaderboard. It's still, this championship isn't decided yet. I'm wondering if we'll see a new race winner this time out, given how unique the Hungaroring is compared to a lot of the other circuits we've been visiting. These two are just waiting for each other to start talking. They're being very polite, but they're also going, I can do less work. If I keep quiet, it will force the other person to start talking.
I'm here to press buttons. I'm going to press buttons.
The priority would be on Alex. So
yeah.
If we're going to... Dan is our Ted Kravitz. If we want to talk to Dan, we'll go to Dan Connolly, our Ted Kravitz in the pit lane.
2 seconds, Dan.
Cameras.
Yeah, I'll jump in every now and again if I notice anything interesting. Yeah.
Got you. Sorry, Cammy, go for it again.
Would you agree that the Hungaroring looks like a fish?
A fish.
When you look at it, and that long, the start-finish straight is its fin, and then you see where the yellow flag, car number 151. If you think of that like a Neanderthal's brow, sort of a grumpy face. And then down at the bottom where 147 is, that's like a protruding bottom jaw.
It's like handsome Squidward. That's what I'm picturing.
It's handsome Squidward, but a fish, and that's how I always saw it as a child on Grand Prix and Grand Prix 2, because they show the picture of the, that way round with the start finish straight at the right-hand side, and it always just looked like a fish with a prominent brow and a protruding lower jaw.
Okay, now I remember why I was slow to respond. I can't quite figure that one out.
You couldn't have topped that.
I guess.
This is why I get paid to commentate on Glick. When I turn up for it. Sorry.
I don't know how you got a fish out of it. That's a very strange one.
I always think a lot of circuits, like clouds, you can just see something in the shape.
I can see the fin all right. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose. Yeah. What? Sure. Why not, Cammy? Yeah.
They're humouring me now.
Also, kind of like abstract artwork if you place it on the pit start finish straight.
Monza, it looks like a boot. It looks like a boot somewhat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got yeah.
I like the patronising and then the realisation that oh yeah.
Whatever you say, whatever you want to say, Cammy, we'll agree with you.
Well, let's not mention what Zandvoort track outline looks like. That attracted some attention on Twitter.
What do you think Zandvoort looks like?
Well, according to F1 Twitter, it looks like a marital aid. If you want to put it that way. Are we keeping this PG-13? I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose it rather Does, yeah. But yeah, you can't get away from that one. Well, I'll never look at the
Hold on,
crazy catch again.
I need to look at Zandvoort here real quick. I've just got a clean Christian mind. I obviously don't be thinking about these marital aids.
Anyway, we'll head over to one driver who does not need marital aids, I'm sure. It's Mr. Jonathan Seville, who is setting the fastest lap. What a transition that is. Setting the fastest lap of qualifying at the moment with a 142.7. I'm probably going to get a hiding for this when he watches this back. I had to come up with a smooth segue.
No, that was smooth. That was good.
That was smooth.
Oh, that was very smooth, yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be worse if I said, and we go to one man who does need such marital aids. You know, that would be worse.
So, I mean, it would definitely be worse, yeah. Sorry.
It would, and Ben22 just resubscribed. I think that was for 6 months, did I catch? Thank you very much, Mr. Ben Brown.
Ben Brown, 25 months.
25 months.
Good gravy. And somebody's meant to say, thank you, it is just brown and water.
Thank you, it's just brown. What's that from?
That is a Simpsons quote.
Ah, yes.
Of course. So it's Hilden in second place, but Seville has half a second to everybody else on the field at the moment. Hearn is in third, Watson fourth, Shahabi and Gardner fifth and sixth in the BMWs, going very well. Sasha King, who put in a tremendous performance at the Imola 2.4 hour, is sitting pretty in pink in 8th place. Fry Guys without the guys at the moment, her team name is. And Brendan Rooney has just jumped up to 5th in his Porsche. He was very keen to keep the number 14. When I was doing livery, obviously, he used to have the number on the car. And I thought, that's a lot of work, because I have to change it every time another driver wants to use it. And then he said, oh, I like having the 14 on my car. So he put it on the bonnet of the car himself. I don't know why he likes 14. I don't know if it fits a Fernando Alonso thing or what. But he's done very well coming up from split 2 to split 1, and he was saying he's very impressed, very surprised at just how fast the top drivers are. You know, he was pretty dominant in split 2, and he thought he'd be fighting for podiums more, but it's a real battle for him just to keep himself in the top 6.
Yeah, but I suppose like when you're moving up the bracket, you are going to be taking a step backwards. But in the long term, it's going to make him faster. And I think that like that realization that like, oh god, I'm going to have to really kind of step up if I'm going to want to have that same level of dominance. So it's gonna make him a faster driver overall. But I'd say it's a bit of a rude awakening for him.
It's going to make that first win all the more special.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is a culture shock having made that step up myself. It's yeah, quite a shock just how quick the top of that split 1 guys are.
Yes, Sasha King just drops out the way there after finishing her quick lap, and Brendan goes through for another. Just under 3 minutes to go. Here in the older, used to be behind the Iron Curtain, didn't it? It's it was the first sort of Soviet racetrack.
Oh yeah.
Never
I say
even thought
Soviet.
of that,
Yeah, it was the first racetrack to be sort of behind the Iron Curtain, as it will, because they did come to the Hungaroring circuit before the fall of the USSR.
Yeah.
You
If you do ever go to the circuit and you go on the Budapest Underground, it's still straight from the 1950s. It's really beautiful and interesting, but it is rickety and old at the same time.
I think the Soviets did design that.
Oh yeah, there's still the old murals on the wall. The very
It's very deep, isn't it?
architecture. Yeah, it is.
Like a bomb shelter, I think it's designed to be.
Mm.
Cucumber bush, so smooth, could be Linus Tech Tips. yeah, exactly. See, they put their sponsor on the back, not realizing it was going to say Pro and Am on a sticker. So it's meant to say Hypermotive, but it says Pro.
They're one step above Pro.
Pro, yeah.
Oh, Hyperma Pro.
Henry Handy. Remnant Racing is in 12th at the moment, second in class. Only Sasha King ahead of him. She's sitting in 10th place at the moment in the AMG. Quite a lot of the field in the pits. They're not going to have enough time to go back out, so that is their qualifying session over. Drivers who are out at the moment, most of them will be able to get on another flying lap. 119 there, just pulling over and bringing out a quick yellow flag, but nobody was nearby. Your own Jongen just letting Henry Hanley past as we're just coming into the last few corners of the circuit. Lots of 90 degrees and 180 degree turns here as we come around. Oh, and he's having to fight a little bit of oversteer. Is the BMW not a comfortable car to drive, guys?
It's usually pretty settled, but it is a bit of a heavy car. Well, look at the size of it. It's massive. Maybe it's struggling a bit with just sheer size.
And Henry goes up into the top 10, he takes that pole in AM class, knocks Sasha out of the top 10, down to 11th. So, as far as last moment efforts go, last gasp efforts, that was a good one.
And after I've just said that, Cammy, half of the top 10 cars are all BMW, so I clearly don't know what I'm talking about there.
They are. Porsche, there's a couple of them in the top 10, but then there's a big gap, and then it's Quinten van Wingerden in 17th. So it's a Ferrari on pole, though. I didn't expect the Ferrari.
Yeah,
Seville,
Seville's 4/10 up, and he's currently 3/10 up on this lap alone. So we're seeing a mega lap here. There he goes.
The Ferrari's one lap pace is ridiculous. I'm driving it this season as well, but it does shred its tyres quite badly as well.
Yeah, will Jonathan be able to hold on to that lead for the duration of this 45-minute race coming up soon? Or is he going to be left exposed with sort of red, raw tyres near the end of it? Like Brendan Rooney's had that as well. He's worn out his tyres a few laps ago, and he's managed to run himself out of fuel with meters to go. Which I'm sure he doesn't want reminding of, but tough titties.
I'm sure that pain is still quite fresh.
He was 0.2 of a litre, less than a can of Coke's worth of fuel away from the finish line.
That's heartbreaking.
And it kept telling him, he said with 3 laps to go, it was still telling him that he had enough fuel to the end. And then it was only on the last lap that he realised, actually, no, it's lying to me. I'm not going to make it.
Well, you know what they say, Cammy, don't hate the player, hate the game. And he certainly did with that one, I guess.
I told him to shove 10 more litres in. As we're watching Jordan Watson, who gets himself up onto the front row of the grid alongside his teammate, but still 7/10 back. He's just pipped Hilden onto the front row, but Seville absolutely in control. Very Senna-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
he's
looking very strong out there.
Enthusiastic response from my commentators there. Yeah, yeah. Because Senna could do it not only in a Formula 1 car, but when they were all in Mercedes 190Es and you had James Hunt and Niki Lauda and Senna, they're all in like road cars, and he was dominant in those as well.
Really, what was that? Like an exhibition race, or?
Yeah, it was like Formula 1 drivers past and present, sort of just a fun exhibition race. There was obviously more drivers. I think there was about 12 or 16 of them. Brundle might have been in one. I think Prost might have been in one, but Senna won it, and that might have been in about 1986. Not sure. Well, I'm not sure which circuit they raced around.
No, I've never seen that, Cammy. I'll have to have a look afterwards.
Yeah, they're all in silver 190Es, and they had their name down the side. And part of me thinks, oh, did they race them around Hungary? No, it was around Nürburgring.
Ah, okay.
Which makes sense, being a Mercedes.
Yeah.
1984.
Non-fat jam in chat. Not liking this track. It is a bit of a Marmite one, really, if you can't find a rhythm. But do you enjoy the track, Cammy? Hungaroring?
I think, like you, I used to dislike it when I was younger, but now I appreciate it more now. It doesn't have the flow of the best parts of Silverstone, and sometimes I'll always think I can take a chicane faster than I really can. I'll end up overcooking it, and I'll think, because there's a couple corners that are a little bit off camber.
Oh, yeah.
But I think in the Aston, nice settled car, I Whether I'm quick at it, though, is another matter, because I've been out of ACC racing so long. Thank you very much, Apex Vest, for the resubscription for 21 months. God, how old will you be in 21 months, Alex? Almost 2 years.
Yeah, I'll be 35. I'll feel a lot older because I'll have a 19-month-old child at that point, but... Kev1066, was Ben commentating at Linden Hill Rallycross? I doubt it.
Doubt it. I mean, if he was and didn't tell me, because I live about half an hour from Linden Hill, if he was there and didn't tell me, I'd be a little bit miffed, because I don't get to see everyone, because I'm this side of London, so it's always, I want every opportunity to see you all.
Yeah, he's never mentioned it, so I don't think it was.
Wait, were you at Linden Hill then, Kev? Oh yeah, you did say you were going there. We forgot about that one. Or well, we didn't really get in contact with each other about that. That's Alex Gardner in the background, or Mav Gardner flashing his lights, I think, as Seville takes them away on the formation lap. And you see, as oNiD years have gone on, the quality of the liveries has improved. Like, look at the orange oNiD there. That is a recent one by Brent Brown. And Ronid. Oh, it's the rookies oNiD, isn't it? Is it
That
the
makes
oNiD rookies
sense.
team rather than Ronid?
Some knockoff oNiD.
Like
Split the
Scooby-Doo
group.
trying to say it. Ronid? And then you've got Connexus. You know, great team identities are forming, and Remnant Racing have always had their sort of Mazda 787B inspired livery. Pulse have always had their sort of fluorescent yellow and fuchsia, sort of hot pink, luminous colours that you can't miss. Hilden needs to get with the times, needs to get himself a livery or join a team that has one. Because it has Yandy, but I don't... Is that actually a team? I don't know anybody else who drives for Yandy, and I don't know if they have a livery or identity.
I don't honestly know. We could consider him the last of the privateers, or the best of the privateers, can we? If that helps with the role playing.
Yes. Role playing. I did have someone on Discord because they saw I was 36. They said I was pushing 40, which hurt. I was like, first they don't know the definition of the pushing bit, you know, because who looks at a 6-year-old and goes, "He's 6, pushing 10." You know, nobody says that with a 4-year gap to the age.
It's a bit of a jump, yeah.
Yeah, but 4 years to a 6-year-old is nearly over half the life.
He's
4 years
16,
to
pushing 20. Although, yeah, if you said he's 96, pushing 100, I was like, yeah, because proportionally he's closer to 100 than 0. So
definitely don't say 96 pushing 0.
no, you say pushing up daisies.
Yeah.
Terrible. Cammy, that's terrible.
Evening, Tony Law.
If any 96-year-olds are watching, I apologise. I always like to think, you know, the people who play with Lego and it says ages like 3 to 99. And there's a 100-year-old going, oh, can't play with Lego anymore.
Well, I believe they actually physically take the Lego off you once you hit 100. I believe someone from Lego comes around to the house and takes it off you.
That's it.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
Very brutal ID and procedures when you try and buy Lego and you look quite old as well.
Well, the drivers are coming up to the start-finish line now. We're waiting for the green flag to drop. The drivers are keeping to their 70 miles an hour limit. We're making sure not to see any drive-throughs. We're away. Seville leading them down to the first corner. It is a trio of Pulse SimSport cars. Are we going to see a bit of a Bottas bowling moment? Brendan's sticking around the outside, but it looks like the top 10 at least, cleanly around the first corner.
Yeah, Dave Suzuki had to run wide in T1, but he got through unscathed, just about. Oh, someone's in the wall though at the back.
Oh, who did you catch who that might have been? Looks like it's going to be someone near the back.
Jongen.
Oh, we've got
I think it's involved.
Hilke van der Veen and your own Jongen. Yeah, Jongen's just stopping. Which has he got a technical problem? Because we do prefer drivers to complete the race. It is in the rules that if they can make it, they should, and any rage quits will be severely frowned upon.
Yeah, and he has quit, so we're down to 30 drivers already.
So it is Watson who has stolen a march on his teammate in the McLaren, followed closely by the Ferrari. Then it is Hilden who has jumped ahead of Dixon's BMW, so it is no longer a pulse 1, 2, 3. Then Dan Hearn in the rookies and Brendan Rooney in the Go for the Gap racing car. We've got a few stragglers, haven't we, already? Alex.
Yes, well, just one straggler actually. We've got Heike van der Veen, car 889, who's in last after that accident with Jongen. Car 71, Colin Cameron, who had a qualifying ban. Must have had a little off somewhere because he's dropped pace, but generally we've got a big long snake of 28 cars for the most part as they complete the first lap.
Talking of big long snakes, we're following Miles Dixon at the moment in 4th place. He's just behind Jan Hilden, who has set the fastest lap, but that is often happens on the first lap. Multiple people claim the fastest lap as Matt High. Nice clean manoeuvre into turn 1, up the inside of Henry Handy, works his way up into 12th. Do you think we'll see much in the way of drive-throughs this evening, Alex?
There's a good chance. The corner you referenced earlier, Cammy, that fast left hand is a prime candidate for a track cut if you just try and carry too much pace, but if you play it sensibly, it's fairly easy to avoid them, I find.
Now, I was putting together a social media pack for everybody, for sim racers and motorsport people, so they can quickly make a social media post about their next race or their results. And I had to include every Assetto Corsa competency-only circuit. There are 2 circuits that do not name their corners at all. Hungaroring was one. None of the corners are named. Yep, because I was including names on every circuit and found that the Hungaroring doesn't name the corners at all. Can you name the other ACC circuit that doesn't have any names for its corners and just purely numbers them?
Oh, that's a good question, but Hiker's just got he pitted, I assume, for damage, and then got a stop go 30 for speeding, and then he's returned to pit, so I think we might be down to 28 drivers, potentially.
Sounds like you've given up with that one, and Hilden looks like he's starting to be the locomotive of this train. Yeah, any thoughts what that other circuit with no names might be?
It could be because I don't know the circuit at all. Is it Zolder?
No, it's not Zolder. Zolder has corners named after drivers like Jackie Hicks. Dan, do you want to have a little guess?
Ooh, it's not older. Is it? Actually, don't know. That's a tough one.
Trying to think of an ACC circuit, and every circuit goes out of your head.
Well, no, I'm just you put me on the spot first of all. But then I'm trying to think. Any track I am thinking of has names.
Actually, there's 3 circuits. I apologise. There's 3 circuits with no names. Hungaroring is one, and the other 2 circuits are both in the same country as each other.
So I'd say it's America or Britain then, because there's quite a lot of tracks on.
Yeah, American.
Oh. Is it Austin?
Yep.
And
Indy?
Yep. As we're watching Van Vingerd get Dave Zalecki pressuring him all the way through turn 7 there, I think, as they come into the chicane. Van Vingerd holds it and doesn't relent into Dave's pressure.
Sorry, just so you know, Ralph Vest had a little trouble in the NSX. He's now the last car on the road after a little spin. But yeah, that just highlights the trickiness of this circuit, Cammy. There's no overtaking spots really apart from turn 1. Unless you're very, very brave on making a mistake.
Yeah, I think you really have to get your arms, the elbows out and make space, as the pit window has just opened up, so a few drivers who apparently may be feeling they're held up a little bit might try and get their mandatory pit stop out of the way early.
Yeah, no chance of rain, so that narrows down the strategy considerations for this track, but I don't think anyone's actually dived into the pits on the first lap, can we? So it's everyone's going long for a little bit.
For the moment, we've still got some cars coming around the last corner, so we might have a taker yet. I think we do. 888 is going slow. Ah, you called that too early, didn't you?
Indeed I did.
Mr. Ryan Davies opting for a very early pit stop.
Yeah,
As
maybe it just felt like he was stuck in a bit of traffic.
I mean, he would have felt like he was because he was.
Ah, that's a good point.
As Matt High is chasing Adam? I'm not sure if it's Adam Gardner. Adam Gardner. Is that a flag on top of the BMW?
What for Gardner?
Like on the radio antenna, there's a little flag on it. Look! There's a little there's a little black rectangle on top of the BMW as if it's got a little flag. Oh, I think it was just that name box, but it wasn't showing a name.
I've
It was the name
never
box
noticed
not
that before.
Yeah, it was a name box, I think, but just not showing the name. And because it was where the radio antenna was, it just started looking like a... Yeah, it's not there now. It just started looking like a little black flag. Like a Rocket League sort of accessory.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, there's an idea for ACC too. Rocket League accessories, antennas. Yeah. So Seville, despite being 3/4 of a second quicker than his teammates, is still in second place, although that might come to an end in just a moment. He's got the slipstream, he's closing in. Is he going to get the job done down into turn 1? And is his teammate going to fight it? Watson's just holding his line. Oh, he tried to get the cut back there and just went into the back of Seville. A little bit of a love tap. Seville slowed it right down to prevent him getting the undercut.
You gotta be so careful making a move on your teammate, but hopefully that damage doesn't cost the Ferrari too much time.
No, I think Seville's just going to drive off into the distance now. Watson's going to try and hold on as close as he can. Hilden, though, I think is going to start falling down the order unless he's prepared to do 37 minutes of pure defensive driving. Although these drivers, if they're really being held up by him, they could get the undercut, get that early pit stop out the way, get some fast laps in some fresh air, and come out, you know, when they can just go past him as he pits. Alex.
Yes.
I have to say one of your names
Sorry,
because you both just sit there.
You summarise it so well, Cammy. I couldn't really add much to that sentence. Sorry, I don't mean to leave you hanging. As Hiker goes into the pits again for his actual pit stop this time. So the leaders will be coming up on blue flag traffic fairly soon.
Miles Dixon's starting to get impatient. You can see he's moving around there, trying to find a way past Hilden. And Hilden's having to take some very interesting lines. It's just going to slow them down all the more. And I think there's only like a second between 4th to 7th. They're all bundled up very closely as Hilden goes very wide. And Dixon could just drive up the inside here. He's going to get alongside him before they even get down to the first corner. And Hilden's not going to be able to fight this one off because he can't move across on him.
Yeah, because I think that car behind's also fancy with the back BMW, but it's just a little bit too far back.
And they've both gone quite wide. They've both gone very wide, haven't they? And that's going to allow Dan Hearn to get around the... He could go around the outside here. Oh, now that looked a little bit suspect. And Hilden's just gone into the back of the Pulse car.
Wow, he was on the grass a long way before the braking zone of that corner.
Some questionable driving there, I think, from Hilden. But now that's just released Hearn and Rooney, the two Porsches, into 3rd and 4th. And it will be interesting to see what sort of pace they have now that they've not got a big black Audi in front of them. But Rooney needs to be careful. He's got one of the most experienced drivers behind him, Mr. Alex Shahabi, and the winner of the Imola 2.4 hour, of course, Sasha King.
Yeah, it was a good race, that.
Say a bit more.
So, apologies, Cammy. I thought you were going to say something as well. Yeah, quite costly for Hilden. Dropped from was it 3rd down to 7th. So knocked him quite a way down the order while he's in a big snake of traffic.
I suppose that'll have to do from Alex.
Sorry, I can keep going.
I like how I was telling you about Imola. Yeah, it was quite good. Oh, all right. Back to me. I will make a commentator out of you.
We'll drag it out of it.
It's always
one spun. Sorry, Colin Cameron.
Oh, Colin Cameron. Yeah, he's at the eyebrow of the fish. As we've seen Shahabi come into the pits, obviously feeling He's going to lose time behind the Porsches fighting each other. And here's Luke Sherlock. He's failing a bit. As we jumping. Dan, focus on the driver.
I was trying to show the pits. Sorry.
Jumping from. I go to start a sentence and we've changed driver.
Apologies.
But we'll jump ahead to this battle for the last step of the podium. It is Dan Hearn and Brendan Rooney. And Brendan's been putting in some great performances, but yet to find himself a race winner. Could this be the race he does it? But the top two are pulling away. They are a good 4 seconds ahead of Hearn.
Yeah, they've had a cracking opening 15 minutes, those two. They're doing well not to cost each other time and pulling out good gap to those behind them.
I think they've had Hilden working as a bit of a rear gunner for them, haven't they?
Yeah, it feels that way, but I mean the pace was fantastic from Seville in the qualifying session. He's pulled out a 2.5 second gap on Watson now, so he'll be hoping just to get his head down and stay out of trouble.
I think Rooney will be happy just the fact that it's a Porsche 911 in front of him, knowing, right, this car can't just out-drag me down the start-finish straight. We're equal. We're both in the slowest car in a straight line. But Rooney does seem to be making gains through the corners.
Yeah, definitely. But the you say that, Karen, but the Paul Ricard eval race, the Porsche seemed really quick, so maybe they've patched it out not too long ago. Because the Porsche used to be a sit and duck on the straights, but it's slightly less terrible now.
Oh, is it? I mean, there is the new Porsche coming, which is Rooney was saying was set in the same times as the BMW around Paul Ricard.
Oh, really? It does look nice as well, new Porsche.
It does. Be another livery as Bruni. Bruni having a look up the inside. He's Bruni now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I bet you're looking forward to having to read all your liveries, Cammy. For any Porsche, Ferrari or Lamborghini drivers.
Well, we've simplified the livery. We've gotten rid of that checkerboard pattern. That was to match the Circuit Superstars logo as Henry Handy. I think he just let his teammate go through there. A little bit of team... what's the word?
Orders?
No, not orders, but just like good.
That was weird.
Oh, that was Earl going into the back of Marquez, wasn't it?
It was. It maybe, but Marcus seemed to just jump across the track, didn't it? It didn't seem like a normal collision. That was weird. Marcus does have a bit of a high ping, but yeah.
Oh, it's just happened again. I think was that Lindblom? Oh, that's Lindblom who slowed down.
Yes, he's crawled to a stop and he's just getting underway now, Cammy. So I don't.
Yeah, I think he's got a problem. Yeah, he's pulling over to a stop. No, he's getting going again. I mean, for a chicane, you'd quickly just cut it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, sorry, just for Lindblom, I believe he locked his brakes and he ended up running into the back of Earl there.
Ah, okay.
Last person you want to go into is your teammate.
Especially when it's your de facto boss as well. Or team boss.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on the same bit of track as Rooney, I thought Rooney was just going to throw it into the barrier then. He took a lot of curb and unsettled the car.
He did so well to keep it together in the Porsche, because that is deadly when you start to lose the back end, when that engine comes around. And Jonathan Hill pits.
Yeah, and Brendan does like a loose rear on his setups. It is quite difficult to drive them.
Not for me, thanks. Not skilled enough.
Well done. They are, and most of them are all doing very, very well, apart from our very early quitters.
Yeah, that is true. Hiker is back in the race actually. I've just noticed he's running down 29, so
good
to see
on
him
him.
back in the game.
Oh, and Martin Phillips lost a lot of time there through the chicane, and that's just allowed Matt Hyde to close right up.
It's an awkward part of the track though, Cammy. This is a couple of fast sweeper chicanes coming up, so there's no way past really.
See, that would be a
few
livery.
corners.
Is a pain to put on multiple cars, because look at all the patterns you'd have to line up across panels.
Possibly, but if you're clever enough, you could just have the dazzle effect not care and have it like crossover panels, maybe?
I think I suppose I can't tell in motion, but I think they've made it all line up. I'm not seeing anything jagged and mismatching. It looks like it all lines up really nicely. Whereas we got rid of the checker pattern because it was a bit of a pain for, especially if another driver wanted to quickly adapt to livery. It was awkward. So we've just made it simple, like a Marlboro McLaren livery, as Matt High comes into the pits with half an hour to go.
Jonas Seville as well at the front. He's set fastest. He's still got the fastest lap, and he's pulled out another 2 seconds on Watson over the last 4 minutes or so. So he's in a good place right now.
Then we'll go to our Ted Kravitz.
Yeah.
Dan, what can you tell us? What's happening in the pit lane?
Well, yeah, as we see, Matt High is in the pit lane there. Marquez is also jumping in the pits as well. So a lot of drivers trying to free themselves from the back, trying to go for that undercut. So it's going to be interesting. Keep an eye on these guys. Back to you, Crofty.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Well done. I didn't even have to prompt you. Back to you in the studio.
Cammy absolutely dragging professionalism out of us, kicking and screaming over the course.
I know, nothing worse. What do you think? Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. It's not bad, is it?
Thanks, Alex. I think that was a Bill Bailey skit when he went, "Oh, you went swimming with dolphins. How was it?" It was all right. It was all right.
How are you? Yeah, not bad.
Creatures, it's amazing. Yeah, it was all right. I think it's just a British thing, but you have to sit up, chest out, and speak from the diaphragm, and be bold and loud. And here's Daniel Lindblom. He's in 16th at the moment. I don't think he's bold or loud, but I don't know. I've never met him, but he's chasing Thibaut Gurton at the moment. But they're in different classes, so I wonder if Thibaut will fight this one too much. Do you two tend to fight drivers that are in different classes?
I do.
I tend to fight them from upper class. If they're upper class and I'm lower class, I'll fight them.
I'm the same. Although there are overall standards in this championship, so there is some degree in there's some value in fighting for this position. If you're Thibaut Gurton.
Hilka says 1 minute 40. Right, 1 minute 40, and I'm driving chicane.
I think that was when he had.
Yeah, I think that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while back, yeah.
There's quite a lot of drivers opting for that early pit stop, so it's really mixed things up. So most of the circuit, everyone's quite spread out as we're watching John Gill closing up very quickly on roads there.
Yeah, going for that inside move again.
Yeah, I think Gill not fighting that one too much, was he?
No, you're in a losing battle when you're on the outside there, Cammy, because you've got such a long way to go around the corner. It's not like you've got the speeder and F1 car to carry it around the outside. It's you're in a bit of trouble once someone gets up the inside of you there.
And thank you for the follow, ToastBrot_J. Thank you for joining us. 24 of you watching this evening. If you're just joining us, we're just over a third distance into this round 5 of the oNiD European GT3 Championship in Hungary at the Hungaroring. Jonathan Seville is leading. He lost his lead for a short while to his teammate Jordan Watson, but has taken it back and is pulling out a 6-second lead as we speak. Watson is second, Dan Hurd is third. Brendan Rooney is fourth, with Sasha King leading the AM class in 5th, and Jan Hilden in 6th place in his black privateer Audi.
Is that just a term now for anyone who doesn't drive as part of a team, I guess? Privateer.
Yes. I mean that is the official term anyway. That is the official term. They are a privateer.
Although we don't have any factory teams at all here, so I don't know how that factors into things.
I suppose in esports it would just be the difference between sort of solo lone wolf drivers and those who work as a team.
True. Very good point.
Unless we do attract a manufacturer esport team like Alpine or something, yeah.
That's a few years off, a few years of growth away, at least, I feel.
Well, with the rate oNiD's growing, and you can see the level of strength, like the strength of field that we get in these split one races, we'll be attracting some of the very best soon. I mean, Jonathan Seville could absolutely go toe-to-toe with some of the Veloci drivers.
Yeah, that's true. 7 tenths with everyone else in qualifying, and grind that nice little lead here as well as we approach the halfway mark.
Maybe we can try and get James Baldwin invited into a race and just watch as he creams everybody.
be interesting if we get a team like that to the 24, although they might just destroy everyone.
They might do. Maybe we get James doing a little bit of commentary work instead. He can impart some wisdom.
Is that a hint for your next special guest for the endurance events coming?
Well,
After
I don't.
your little surprise on the 6 hours?
I don't know him that well. He does. I did send him some artwork, and he does have it framed and hanging up in his sim racing room. But beyond a light bit of conversation on Twitter, I can't say I really know him. Because we're watching from Ben Brown's rear at Dave Zalecki chasing him. Ben running up in 10th place now as he just goes past somebody who is in the pits. I think that's Gardner. Ben Brown's been going very well recently. He had a good Imola 2.4. I know I had to let him lap me.
Yeah, he's I don't know why he's driving the Imola race, Cammy, but he's getting used to that AMG after finding it a little bit lively at first. He's settling into it quite nicely.
What would you say is the best way to learn a car? Because if you just do lap after lap on your own, you could do the wrong thing and reinforce. You know, you could be doing something wrong, not realizing it, and reinforcing mistakes. What's the best way to learn, do you think?
Particularly with that AMG, you definitely need to get used to driving in traffic. The reason I say it with the AMG is because the car's so dependent on the rear diffuser. Ooh, someone goes slow. Maybe Dave's still left it? I couldn't quite tell.
No, it looks like he's just there.
Yeah. So the car's so dependent on that rear diffuser for downforce and the car working well. As soon as you take rear damage, it is basically not the same car anymore. So I guess try and find friends to do little practice races within the practice server, and like you said, don't enforce those negative habits. Get used to actually driving it in traffic and with a little minor bit of damage, because especially rear end damage, you can't really do much to prevent someone running into the back of you a lot of the time.
Is it good practice to run if you're a single player, the AI? Or
Yeah.
is the AI sort of doesn't follow the same sort of rules as human drivers would, so it does things that a human driver couldn't copy?
That's a good point, and I don't actually ever really do that myself, so I can't really. Since I first picked up ACC, I've never actually raced against the AI, you know.
I think James Baldwin did say something. He can beat the 110% AI or whatever the highest setting is, but he said it does some weird things. It breaks in places that he would never break, and it will break in the middle of a corner, or strange habits like that, because it's AI after all.
Yeah, it doesn't act like a human does, I guess. That's interesting.
For a human following that, trying to learn, you'd be caught off the back foot and you'd have to brake in a place that you don't actually have to brake, and then you'll start learning, oh, I have to brake there. Just reinforcing a mistake.
Yeah, it's I guess just try and drive as much as you can in as different a set of circumstances you can, and just build up that experience nicely.
And how many hours do you have on ACC, Alex? As Ben goes wide, Dave could take advantage.
I'm coming up to 750 hours in ACC, Cammy.
Oh, wow. So everybody's got a lot more hours than me. I think I'm only on 187.
That's still a healthy amount of time.
Yeah, I could say a good 8 of those could be just painting the liveries and having the software up for that.
That's true. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on track with you, Cammy. Is it? You've not done many ACC races recently? It was Johnny Seville pits from the lead, actually.
I did the Imola 2.4 hour, but I was a good 5 seconds off the leader's pace.
Okay, quite a tricky track to, if you're not in the rhythm, Imola.
Yeah, I thought I was getting into the rhythm doing 144s, and then pole was a 140 or a 141, and then I saw on YouTube people could do 139s even, as Dave Zalecki was trying to force a mistake there from Ben, but Ben holding firm and driving very well. And Jonathan Seville's got his pit stop done. It's gone green. Is he coming out the pits? And then where will he come out? Brendan Rooney's got his done. He's currently the leader of all of those who have pitted. He's in 12th.
Yeah, so Johnny Seville coming back onto the road now. He is down in 11th or 12th place, I think. He's got himself a nice bit of space there, so he's not going to be impacted by traffic. And he's also got a nice lead over Daniel Hearn, who is just leaving the pits now in next second with Johnny Seville entering turn 2, so it's got a very healthy lead, Johnny Seville. About 13 seconds, I think.
So, only 14 minutes left of the pit window, and it's only 8 drivers at the front of the pack who haven't pitted yet. Surely Jordan Watson will be taking his pit stop soon as the next Pulse Sim Sport car, as Dave's still trying to find a way past Ben, but Ben holding steady. Both driving very well, keeping it very clean between them. A lot of respect as they are 4th and 5th now, respectively. But who is going to blink first? It looks like it's going to be Dave.
Suzuki.
Dave says, I'm tired of being held up by you. I'm going to try and get the undercut as long as I don't speed in the pit lane.
But then Ben gets the kudos because he's got the chance of leading a lap here if Henry Handy pits before him.
He does, and this battle hasn't changed at all. It's still Hearn from Rooney from Shahabi. Brendan looks really closer than he's been for a long time to the back of orange rookie's oNiD. If you try and make a move up the inside of turn 1, that's everybody's main passing point at Hungaroring, isn't it?
Yeah, you had to look at that 90-degree right-hander, but you're really relying on the driver basically surrendering the position to you to get past there.
Reinhard says, is this the last round? No, it's the penultimate round. Next week is the last round at Imola.
And then we have a big grid the week after, can it? I don't know if you've seen that.
We have a what, sorry?
A big grid the week after that. I don't know if that's me leaking something I shouldn't have. A big grid.
A big grid. Okay.
A big grid, yeah.
Didn't know.
Suzuka.
Oh, I didn't know that. How big is a big grid?
Well, Suzuka can have 105 cars, so he's hoping for.
Oh my.
I think we're hoping for the full 105.
Goodness, I didn't know it had. I thought we limited it. I thought it topped out at about 60.
Most tracks are 50, some are 60, and then Paul Ricard and Suzuka are 100 and 105.
Oh wow, I'll absolutely join that, just for the fun of being in a grid that big, I suppose. As Brendan's picked up a drive-through penalty, track limits. He's just picked that up in the last couple of seconds there, and you can see the look on his face. He's not happy about that, as he's following Hearn. And that's going to drop him down probably as far down as 20th. That's absolutely disastrous for him, because he's 5th in the championship and looking to sort of threaten the top 3 in the standings. That's slipping away from him now. Shahabi can sit back.
Quite a costly drive through this as well, because it's a long lap. It's also a long pit lane, really, or it feels long when you're driving it.
It does, and Brendan, amazingly, in the Imola 2.4 hour, didn't pick up one drive-through. He got 3 track cut warnings in the first hour and a half, and then the first half an hour actually, and then maintained that until the end. As Brendan comes into the pits, Martin thought we were probably going to see him. There was the red roof of Brendan's car. And as Brendan's going to be slipping down the field now, and this is going to be very painful, but unfortunately he has nobody else to blame.
No, it's surprising because Imola's a lot easier to pick up track limit warnings than this track, I feel, but unlucky for him. As that battle between Ben Brown and Dave Suzuki's opened up a little bit. Ben Brown's just approaching turn 2 and Dave's about 5-6 seconds down the road for him, so Ben's pulled out a healthy lead in the pits.
Oh, great job to Ben, as Brendan has come out of the pits now, but 14th, he could be dropping down to 15th, but I think he's further down, 16th. It's getting worse for him. He's well out the big points. And he's only got 15 minutes to claw back some of these positions. As Gardner takes an interesting line over the chicane there.
Yeah, everyone else is pitted now apart from the lead 2 cars, so his best hope's going to be other drivers making similar mistakes to his and picking up the old drive-through, I think.
Yeah, I just wonder how many will be doing that. Obviously, it's a little bit painful for me as well as his sort of team manager. I will have to punish him.
I mean, yeah, what kind of forfeits do you have for drive-throughs? Good job Stevie Bain doesn't drive here if you do have harsh punishment.
Yeah, it's time for the thigh-high boots and the whip to come out. And sorry, mistress. Yes, you should be. No, it's not like that. Go for the gap.
Well, whatever motivates the drivers, Cameron.
Yeah. Brendan's picking up suspicious amount of drive-throughs. I think he's enjoying.
I was going to ask, is there any spaces available on the team? Ask for a friend. Yeah.
On a slight side note, Rhino's in the chat. What livery do you like the most this evening?
Mine.
There you go, easy.
Classic Alex Parkin short reply. Mine.
Succinct, Cammy. You can't really complain about that.
No, I think Alex would say, well, man's good, isn't it?
Just
that
a
would be
bit.
it.
Yeah, you answer the question. What more can you ask for?
What's your favourite then, Alex?
That is a good question.
Well, it's man, isn't it?
My heck.
E.
The Mazda-inspired one, this one.
Well, that's the wrong answer for a start.
I'm sorry. I was building up to it, Cammy.
Go on.
Obviously, it must be the go for the gap livery. Otherwise, I'll get thigh-high booted.
I've never owned a pair of thigh-high boots, but you're all picturing me in a pair now. You could be like, oh, Cammy doesn't seem right when she's not wearing thigh-high boots. Brendan is just trying to make his way past Quinten van Wingerden, and he's got, I think, was that Javier Marquez just ahead? Yeah, Marquez is down in 16th place, so he's not been having a good race, and Wingerden's trying to fight Rooney off. And succeeding at the moment. Rooney.
Yeah,
Rooney, what are you doing? Struggling at the moment to take 18th place.
It's got an opportunity to gain position. It can do the turn 1 manoeuvre, but that just shows how hard it is. He got the inside line of that right-hander, which immediately put on the outside of the next corner, and he's had to slide behind again.
Do the turn 1 manoeuvre.
Oh, a drive-through for Daniel Rhodes in 25th.
Yeah, that's not going to help Rooney at all, as he's trying to force the issue up the inside. He's going to get alongside now, but unless he can hold it round the inside of turn 2, I don't think he's going to get that place. Quinten might be able to just hold on to it. Oh, but Quinten, I think Quinten understeered into Brendan.
Yeah, hard to tell from the Helicam exactly what caused that, but it cost him dearly. Oh, Ben Brown. He's got the latest drive with the drive-through.
Oh, Ben. Well, yeah, they're coming thick and fast now, aren't they?
That is. He was 3 seconds off a podium in the amateur class. I can't remember the actual name of it, but that's gutting for Ben because that would have been a healthy points haul.
It really will. I say they're coming in thick and fast. We've had 3 drive-throughs really of the main sort of front of the field, but we've still got 11 minutes to go, and I think they're all catching it over that chicane that they've just been through.
Yeah, it's easy to snatch a break and have to plough through the runoff area to avoid an accident there.
Yeah, and Brendan's finding that these drivers, they might have been a second slower than him in qualifying, but Hungaroring is a tough place to pass, and some of these drivers, what they don't have in qualifying pace, they have in racecraft.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite easy to close the door for a lot of places, and if you get a good launch out last corner, you can shut down that move into turn 1 as well. Last driver as well on track to take a pit stop, Mav Gardner. He's just serving his now, and he's returned to track. And picked up a drive-through. Oh no! Yeah, he has. Picked up an SG30 for a speed in the pit lane.
Oh, dear. Brendan looking to get past Zalecki. And Zalecki closing in on Marquez. They've all just driven past Ben Brown, serving his drive-through penalty. He's still only just about halfway down the pit lane, so he's going to lose another couple places at least. That's a very painful one for Ben. And Mav Gardner's picked up a stop go 30. Yeah, that's the one you mentioned, car number 1.
Oh, Ben's come out of the pit lane and got involved in an accident and spun. It's going to cost him even more time. Unlucky Ben.
Who's he had that with? I can't see any cars around him.
They're in the next corner, so I think it's Gerton.
They're fine.
Shield. Yeah, it's one of those weird ones where the other car was absolutely unscathed.
Zalecki piling the pressure on Marquez. They need to be careful here not to pick up a drive-through penalty. I think it's this chicane where they're picking them up. Curbs enticing them to use more and more of them. Lots of runoff space on the left there, and they've just been pushing their luck one many times too often. Does Dan Connolly have a favourite livery out there, by the way?
I like the rookie owned one. I like the orange.
Yeah, that is a nice one.
Yeah.
That is a nice one. It's very Dutch. Oh, there's a bit of a Constantina
Oh.
effect. Dave went into the back of the Mercedes and then had to back off, and now Rooney's going to try and get around the outside, and Lindblom's going up the inside of Rooney.
Whoa, that's opportunistic for Lindblom.
Now he's going to try and hold it round the outside. That's not going to work. He's lost quite a bit of ground there.
Intense.
And did somebody else just pick up a drive-through penalty? I saw something in the bottom right corner.
Gardner.
I thought I did. Oh, it was Gardner's.
Yeah, he just completed a lap and didn't serve it, so that was all that was.
Marquez holding on to this 15th position, and he is the only driver that's got quite a high ping rate. Vest has the second highest ping, but that's most likely because he's playing from the USA and our server's based in Europe.
Quinton van Wijngaarden's had a failure of some kind. He just ploughed straight on into a wall at the... I don't even know. It's such a weird
Marquez is after spinning.
Yeah, what happened to Marquez? I was looking at the mini-map because, yeah, there was a car at this corner that had gone way off. And now Marquez is gone, so that's released Rooney, Zielecki and Lindblom now to try and catch Mav Gardner and Miles Dixon. Well, they're not going to need to worry about Gardner, so they're catching Dixon. It's getting very exciting here. Yeah, it's never a simple race at the Hungaroring, is it?
No, it's quite a... Well, the barriers are quite far back for the most part, so it's rare you see a car go into them, but yeah, everything...
Oh, look at Vingarden's car. That is very damaged. He's limping it round.
I'm surprised he's even driving it, because he literally drove full speed into a wall at the end of a straight. I assumed he had a tech failure at home with that one, because I just can't explain what he did. It's strange.
He may well have done. We should probably focus on another driver before people think I'm sort of controlling the cameras and just, you know, focusing on my own beautifully designed car. But it is still Seville leading at 15-second gap to his teammates. He's absolutely in a league of his own in the Ferrari. 21 laps completed. Here's Adam Gardner running in 8th in the number 787, obviously after the Mazda. Chasing Matt High for that 7th place, and Sasha King going phenomenally well in 5th, and just, you know, out in a league of her own in the AM class.
Yeah, superb race pace from her. She won a 2-hour race at Calamity the week with similar consistency, and she's applying it to the Sunday League as well. So it's good to see from an AM driver's perspective.
And she's been doing it in different cars. Imola 2.4 hours, she was in an Aston Martin, and now she's doing it in an AMG.
I don't know how people do that.
I know. It's like fighting games. If you picked up a fighting game, would you try all the characters, or you just find one you like and always use it?
I mean, I just button bash regardless, Cammy. So I'm not the best person to ask about.
That's what I do in racing.
Button bash.
I just button.
Are you playing on a Guitar Hero guitar?
Oh yeah. I just bought myself buy myself like a Sim stuff button box and then button bash on it. Flashing lights, window wipers, something make me faster. Some combination of these buttons.
One of these is the NOS. There we go. Wingarden serving. Well, I thought it was serving his drive-through, but he's repairing his damage and says, "Have your marker," so they drop down the order quite a bit. But yeah, everyone served the drive-through with the pit stop. Sorry, with 5 seconds left of the pit window, so no penalties there.
5 minutes left of the race. It's still time for people to pick up penalties. I just wonder, if a driver was going to be next, who do we think might be the next to pick up a penalty?
Well, Steve Bairn's not driving, so that's one candidate ruled out immediately.
I'll guess Jonathan L.
Let's have a look. I'll go for... Ryan Davies.
And how about yourself, Dan?
I'm not getting involved in this politics.
You win.
Name calling.
Go on.
I believe in the skill level of all of our drivers that no more people will get drive-throughs.
It's boring, but he's probably right.
How's that fence, Dan?
Very comfortable.
Neutral like Ireland.
just like my people.
As we watch Hilden trying to get up the inside of Gardner, and Gardner needs to serve that penalty, or has he served it? Yes, he has served it. He did it last lap. So yeah, we are watching. Oh, John Chill, 19th. Wow, we were all wrong on that one. John Chill in 19th has just let Ben Brown go past. So I think he's probably just trying to defend that. Quinten van Wingerden still in the pits. I think they've just retired, really, haven't they? But none of us had money on John Chill.
No, there was a 2 in 29 chance of one was being right, Cameron.
Oh, it's always John Chill when you least expect it. Nobody expects the John Chill. As we watch Matt High in 7th place in the Fry Guys Motorsport with oNiD Racing. 3 minutes to go here at the Hungaroring if you're just joining us, but you're probably not just joining us because there's still 24 of you watching. It's probably the same 24 people watching as they were last time, unless it's a completely different 24 people, which would be very strange. But my name's Kemi Sturch and I'm in the comms booth with Alex Barkin and Dan Conley, and Jonathan Seville put it on pole, lost the lead for a short while, got it back, and has pulled a 16-second gap at the front of this Hungaroring 45-minute sprint race.
That was your name's Cameron Station. That was smooth.
Smooth like the thigh-high boot. No, I'm not going back to that.
Our minds have been in the gut tonight at times, collectively, I think.
Hey, we respect all work boots in this comms booth.
Safety boots, thigh-high boots. Are they another kind of work?
They're all working boots, and they all get respect.
Yeah, I guess.
There's no I guess about it. Anyone who grafts is the point. Anyone who grafts, you respect them.
That's true. Just like we respect the ability of all our drivers, like Dan does.
That's it. Come on up here. There's plenty of space on this fence.
Talking of boots, if you want to pick up a nice pair of boots, go to SimHound. They sell racing boots for your sim rig setup. You can get gloves as well.
They do oNiD gloves now, Cammy, as well, did you know?
I didn't know. They're 20, I think they're 25, 30 pounds on the SimHound website. You can pick up a pair in any size. They've got a guide to help you pick the right size for your hand, telling you how to measure across your palm and the length of your fingers and everything like that, so you can get the right size for you. As Thibaut Gerten going up the inside of Ollie Knowles well before turn 1, so he must have got a great exit. As no.
Ollie Knowles so good on the brakes, because it looked like Thibaut Gerten was ahead going into the braking zone there, Cammy.
And that was Thibaut Gerten's to lose.
Yeah, Knowles rescued it very well.
Yeah, and Knowles just closing the door there. I thought Thibaut was going to go up the back of him there, and that would be sad to see with less than a minute to go. But yeah, SimHound, oNiD partner. If you need boots and gloves and socks, you can pick up a pair there. I think the socks have got like a rubber on the bottom, so they grip the pedals, and the shoes, they're very lightweight, and they're like kind of slip-on ankle trainer things, but very light, very breathable, and just, you know, they're not as heavy as a trainer, so you can't feel your pedals, but at the same time, it's not a pair of socks that might slide on your pedals. It's just something so you know your pedal doesn't end up smelling of smelly socks. Ryan Davies, no! But that was your guess.
It was.
Bingo!
Unlucky, Ryan. Unlucky, man. On the last lap as well as Johnny Seville enters the middle six for the last time.
I'm just imagining when Max Verstappen went into the wall at Cop's Corner and the commentator going, "Unlucky, Max."
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be wrong to say that.
It'd be quite brutal, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah.
190 miles an hour crash, bang! Unlucky Max.
Yeah, I feel Max might have been a little bit slower than Davies was in their respective spells
Well,
of bad luck,
let's
shall we
not
say.
compare levels of grief. They're
No,
both valid.
some more valid than others, but Johnny Seville around the last corner. He's been dominant, that's why I've hardly featured him, I think, for this race.
Yeah, talking of drivers more valid than others, I don't know, this one's very valid. He's picked up yet another win, to another trophy to go on his collection of virtual trophies as he wins here at the Hungaroring, and we haven't got a second place yet. He's that far ahead that Jordan Watson is just coming across the line now. And he does to pick up that second place for a Pulse Sim Sport 1-2.
Pretty dominant from those two.
As ever. And
Yeah,
third place, I think they've come across the line now. We don't know because Dan's watching a midfield battle. And there is Dan Hearn finishing third. Alex Shahabi takes fourth. Of course, he didn't need to get rid of Brendan Rooney. Brendan did that to himself. Martin Thorpe looks like he's coming sixth. Matt High seventh. Adam Gardner eighth. Jan Hilden only ninth in the end. He really slid down that field a bit, didn't he?
yeah, it's unfortunate because he was.
Oh no! Timo Gutton, there's contact.
Oh, more
And Ben
contact.
Brown just dishes them both out the way and just takes both places and says, "Yoink! I'll have those."
Ow.
I mean, to be fair, they sort of had to stop in the middle of the corner, and Ben didn't know where to go and didn't expect them to stop, so he's just taken those places and taken 16th place and says thank you very much.
Yeah, a couple of extra bonus points for Ben. Whoa, as Seville kicks the back end out, but ow. Yeah, might be one for the stewards after the race.
Might well be. We don't have live stewards, we have post-race stewards. Seville doing some little burnouts, very happy with himself, as it is a Pulse Sim Sport 1-2 with oNiD Rookies, which is the team sponsored by SimHound, making up the third step of the podium. Well, how was that for a slice of fried gold?
Excellent, and John Hill's rubbing it in the chat for not getting a drive-through.
And he spelt my name wrong. It's not Y. I-E. I'm not a Street Fighter character.
So take that, John Hill.
Dan, how was that?
I thought that was amazing. I thought it was a great race. Very entertaining. Lots of battles the whole way throughout the grid.
That sounds a bit too... Can you make it a bit more neutral sounding, please?
I think everyone performed exactly how we all expected them to do, and they all did individually a great job.
Brilliant.
It's fair to say that race was completed.
It was definitely a race of all time.
Yes. Of all performances by Jonathan Seville, that was one. Well, we better round things up because it's a school night and it's not a bank holiday Monday tomorrow. So thank you very much for joining us. I've been Cammy Sturge alongside Alex Barkin and Dan Conley. Thank you for joining us. All 20 more of you are watching now than during the actual race. Go figure. But join us next week for the final round of the championship at Imola. Same time on the 23rd of April, Sunday, 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. Universal Time, UTC, Universal Time Code. I don't know. But we'll see you next week. You know when and where. Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.